But now I'll rise above you.
Swazdola, you tilted turtles, how the hell are ya? Last week we covered 9 things to love about Warframe, so now we shall cover a few things to hate about it. If you have not seen the previous video, I will have it linked at the end of this one. Okay then, let's get it on. Persistent bugs. We can all agree that games will always have bugs, especially upon release. Under normal circumstances, it is also safe to say that bugs are eventually eliminated from the game until everyone is happy. Not Warframe though. In Warframe, some bugs have been around for so goddamn long that they should be considered a feature. One single example out of many is that freaking Eidolon Turkey boss fight, which was released in May 2019. Till this day, that fight remains so buggy that it is still often unplayable. Next up. Copy-paste content. Digital Extremes takes the saying, never change a running system, a little too literally. For many years now, Warframe has had 12 main mission types. These 12 mission types are then copy-pasted to each successive planet as you progress through the game. No change in enemy behavior, no change in objective handicaps, no change in objective difficulty, no perks, no tweaks, no nothing. Just the same missions with a different skin. The other 11 mission types are either unique boss fights, which are the only mission types that are not the same compared to each other, and then a bunch of types no one wants to play or are simply irrelevant, such as Archwing Rush and Arena. Furthermore, there are 4 Prime Warframe releases every year, and every time a Prime is released, players repeat the exact same old grind they had already done for the previous Prime, and the one before that, and the one before that. Then we have the open worlds. Cetus was released with items locked behind bounties, 2 syndicates, new minerals and fish to farm. Then Fortuna was released with items locked behind bounties, 2 syndicates, new minerals and fish to farm. Then Heart of Deimos was released with items locked behind bounties, 2 syndicates, new minerals and fish to farm. Do you see a trend here? Moving on. Overpromising and under-delivering. Sure, hype trains exist and often it is the player base that goes batshit crazy over new releases and makes it out to be more than it is. But in the case of Warframe, it has become such a trend that it is no problem at all to predict exactly how and when a new release would play out. Remember when Grendel and Gauss were supposed to be released together? Remember when Sheldon said a complete Petri work with commands was imminent? Do you remember the amazing tennocon presentations we got to see, only to then be disappointed with the fraction of what was actually teased and promised? If that fraction of content were at least good, then players would have less reason to complain. But this happens literally every year and has been for the past few years. DE's business plan always goes like this: January and February, talk about mistakes in December and how to improve the next year. Set goals. Then, March or April, some kind of content drop with little to no content or impact on the game. DE then blames that slim content on the fact that they are preparing things for tennocon and trying not to spoil anything. Then, we wait till tennocon, at which they show something insane and amazing and game-changing and let us know this new stuff will arrive toward the end of the year. We then spend the rest of the year with the Warframe or 2, a bunch of skins and maybe a new gun or something, waiting for tennocon content. If we get lucky, we get a half-assed version of said content and the rest of the year is spent fixing it. Come January, the cycle repeats itself. Bravo. Let's move on. Selective hearing. When one enters a restaurant and orders something to eat, it is expected that the cook prepares the food in a manner that pleases the customers. Digital Extremes not so much. Using my metaphor, the Digital Extremes restaurant will serve you either the food you ordered but prepared badly, or Serve something you are allergic to, but prepared nicely. When it comes to players giving feedback and the developer listening, DE used to be exemplary in the industry, but those days are long gone. Today, DE will tend to listen to feedback that strokes their egos more than the feedback that is actually valuable. You see, when some fragile ass-kissing nerd kinda hints at an issue with the game, DE will hear them out. But when Raytalius or myself, or Brozyme, Triboris, Sabuchi, Nightmare Frame, Relentless Zen, Liam XP or any other person who talks without sugarcoating say the exact same thing, it is suddenly considered a soul-crushing personal attack. DE has definitely developed selective hearing when it comes to listening to what the customer wants and needs. Next up. Grind equals content mentality. Another thing that has become more troublesome over time is that it appears that Digital Extreme seems to be under the impression that grind is content, like farming for hours, sometimes even days to acquire a new Warframe only to then wait 3 full real-life days for that hard-earned item to be done crafting and ready to use. Or fishing and mining for hours, or repeating the same old mission structure of putting something we will want in the game but then adding as many obstacles as possible in the way. Time gating, progression caps and tedious repetitiveness is basically what Warframe is made of today. No skill or brain required. The idea that something is allowed to just be fun with no other meaning attached has become alien to this game. Unfortunately, what a shame. Moving along. Silly bans. If you are 12 or a moron and decide to write the phrase, "Nuzzy is a trap," in region chat, you will be banned immediately. Hell, if you say the word shit in region chat, you get banned. Meanwhile, some AFK macro using assholes who clearly break term of service somehow get away with it. I mean, we all know that Canadians are on the softer side of things, but goddamn. Hell, you can even get trade banned if you perform too well at the highest levels. Not that this is necessarily super bad, it is just absolutely daft. Considering this game is for a mature audience, it is almost like hiring a prostitute and then getting scolded for looking at them. No logic. Next. Power creep. Many of the things on this list tie into bigger picture problems. Power creep may be even more so than others. When we say Warframe does not require any skill, any brains, or any tactics of any kind, then we actually mean it. You could literally set yourself up to destroy everything the game can throw at you within the first day of playing, which then trivializes the entire game. Sure, it is kinda cool seeing red crit numbers pop off all over your screen and see level 9000 enemies melt in front of you, sure. For a short while your penis will feel larger than it is. But then what? Nothing. Raids at least had situations where your power levels did not matter. Only by being observative and working as a team could you stand a chance at winning. Today, the only thing that matters is efficiency and getting done with the bullshit DE puts between you and some shiny trinket you want to collect. Next thing on this list. No scaling rewards. High risk, high reward. A concept every game is familiar with, except Warframe. In Warframe, playing low levels yields dog shit, which is fine, but playing super high levels will yield slightly larger quantities of dog shit, with a game that has endless missions that arguably get more difficult over time. One would think that DE would capitalize on this in some way and maybe introduce a kind of gains for effort mentality, but that is not the case. Reality is that there is truly no reason to do anything beyond the required minimum to succeed. 5 waves of defense, get out. 5 minutes of survival, get out. There is no benefit from doing 6 hours survival versus 6 minutes. Completing a capture mission in 30 seconds has the same result as taking 3 hours to complete it. This game needs proper reward, an issue for many years that could easily be fixed in due time, if the devs would only listen, but alas, we all suffer together. Next. Neglecting old content in favor of shoveling new trash into the mix. Warframe has adopted a terrible habit. It is great that this game continues to try and provide us with a new experience every year, but that is not what the game needs right now. Enough is enough. It has been long overdue that the EA pops the brakes on creating new shit and rather focus on revamping, fixing and improving what we already have in the game. For example, exterminate missions, capture missions, spy missions, hijack missions, excavation missions, crime farming, railjack missions, and the list goes on. All of the missions just mentioned except railjack have not changed in over 5 years, which is sad because basic missions such as these could be 10 times more exciting and fun to play. Like, why the fuck aren't capture missions more like an actual arrest, where players have to infiltrate a compound, locate the target, neutralize said target with a skilled shot to the arm or leg, and then have to carry them out? Why are these missions simply left untouched for years? Why are we getting rushed half-baked new crap when there already is so much potential just sitting right there waiting to be used? Your guess is as good as mine. Well then, there you have it. 9 things to hate about Warframe. Keep in mind, Warframe is not a bad game, but it does have its issues. Pretending they do not exist, or not talking about them, does not help anyone in the long run. And just because they are being talked about, does not mean we hate the game. But for those of you who are about to accuse me of hating the game, allow me to say,
fuck you.